My name is Will.
And I'm Karen.
And unlike Mulder and Scully,
we both want to believe.
So we've embarked on a journey of discovery.
We've talked to people deeply entrenched in the spiritual and metaphysical world.
We've thrown ourselves into weird and wonderful experiences. I even joined a coven of witches.
And wait, you joined a coven?
Yep, all in the interest of finding something.
Anything.
That will prove that there's something beyond this physical,
three-dimensional world we all live in.
This is the Skeptic Metaphysicians. Welcome back to another episode of the Skeptic Metaphysicians. Our guest today is a best-selling finance and personal development author in Japan, with book sales surpassing 8 million copies since 2001. And he's often referred to as a money guru or money healer, and now he is sharing his work with us here on the show. Well, his latest book is called Happy Money, The Japanese Art of Making Peace with Your Money, and he's here today to help us reshape our relationship with our abundant mindset. We couldn't be more thrilled to welcome the wonderful Ken Honda to the show. Ken, it's an absolute pleasure. It's amazing to meet you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Will and Karen, and what an honor to be able to join you. From Hawaii, I'm a native Japanese, so I live in Tokyo, but now I'm just scouting the area for my vision quest in November. So I'm just enjoying my Hawaiian time, and I hope I can send you all the aloha energy to you.
Well,
we need aloha energy.
We do, and if you need a company in your vision quest in Hawaii, we are happy to hop on over.
Or we can help scout. We're good at that too.
Oh yeah, yes, that would be fun.
All right, well, Ken, let's. I know our audience is very anxious to hear from you because we've talked about manifestation before. We talked about abundance. We've talked about all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But never quite as succinctly and wonderfully as you and your books talk about. So first and foremost, the very obvious question is, happy money. What do you mean by happy money? What is that?
So happy money is money that makes you smile when you receive it. It makes you feel good. And also, you feel great and appreciative when you pay the bills too. Oftentimes, unfortunately, we get frustrated when we get the check, when we look at the online account and see how much I get. And then we feel frustrated when we pay our bills. So unfortunately, we are living in the flow of unhappy money, most of us. But happy money is money that makes you smile and also gives you joy. And it doesn't really matter how much you make or how much you have. It's about your attitude toward money. If your attitude is a healthy, happy one, your money is smiling. And if not, your money is crying in your wallet.
So it's not really about the money at all. It's about how you feel about the money.
Yes, it's about the same thing with a relationship. If you have a good relationship, when your friend comes over and say, "Oh yeah, come on in. It's been a while. How are you?" You just hug him or hug her, just embrace them, right? But when it comes to money, there is this funny love and hate relationship. So like, please come, money. And then when money comes closer to you, like, hey, don't, because we've been hurt so many times over money. So as much as we want money, we don't want money to be close.
Yes, I understand, but I really want money.
And you want it to be close, right?
I do. I really want money. It sounds great. I understand happy money, unhappy money. How can someone be happy? And we'll talk about what money actually is in a second, but how can someone be happy, spend, like, every time you got to pay the bills, every time you have to write a check, it's like, oh, there's another $2,000 out of my bank account, right? How do you make that be a happy occasion?
So just think about, say, the income side of happy money. When you just look at your bank account, all the money transferred to your account, somebody trusted you, your client, your customers, your boss, whoever you work for, they trusted you that they are worth the money. So they wanted they ask you to do the work and then pay the money. So in other words, they could have chosen somebody else. Out of 20,000 other candidates, they chose you. And I think that simply is worth appreciating for. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for sending me my precious money. As much as we hate saying goodbye to money, a lot of people have a hard time saying goodbye, but they wire the money. That means they let go of their precious money. And then when you think of the heavy weight of trust and also appreciation from your clients and customers and your bosses, like, wow, you can be overwhelmed with this gratitude. And also, when we pay bills, we often think we lose money because our bank account number diminishes. But when you look at the transaction, every time we pay the bills, we we are exchanging something. It could be electricity, it could be the food at the restaurant or the groceries, whatever we paid, we got the same equivalent thing uh, with money. So once again, you can say like, "Wow, I'm so glad I could afford this." I'm so glad
Mhm.
I could pay all the bills. I'm so glad I could pay for this because the money that you're paying will definitely enrich somebody on the other end. It's going to probably pay the cashier or cashier's kids' lunch money the day after. So the money goes on. So instead of feeling like your money will go away and then it dump you, it's almost like a bad relationship. Your loved one dump you and then Well, instead of feeling that, like, thank you for being with me. Come back anytime with your friends. And then if
Ah,
if
yes.
you
I
can
like the
let go,
friends.
Uh,
if you can let
we need
go
a
of the
money party.
yes, and then you feel blessed because I always imagine this like four angels, ringing bells when I just pay something. Ken Honda is
Uh,
spending happy money and and the angels are just blessing me. Ken, way to go! And the money I pay or give will just will start the ripple effect of happiness, and then
mm,
it enriches everybody and it comes back 10 times. So
right.
that's what I have been experiencing in real life. So I'm not talking about metaphysical thing alone.
Mhm.
And we'll talk about the metaphysical aspect of it. But yes, I think it's
Yes.
important to mention the people who
Hmm.
may not know about you. You are uh, not only are you putting this into your life in
Hmm.
practice. You actually you have made your money, and now you spend your time helping others how to change their mindset on how to bring money into their lives because you were able to do it, and you found again and again that this process actually works. Right?
Yes. So I do 80 or 90% of my work, like including this interview. Like I don't get paid usually, but I get paid handsomely at the end of the year because I have businesses, investments, and all that. So I believe in whatever I give away, it'll come back. 21 years ago, I read a book. Whatever you give away will come back. And I thought, really? I was skeptical, maybe like many viewers. So I didn't want
Mm.
to do some fun experiment. I printed my booklets and I started giving away what I knew about money and happiness. So I started giving away 3,000 copies, 5,000, and 10,000. I gave away 100,000 copies. A publisher called me, and then they wanted me to write a book. And the rest is history. I've written 80, 90 books and sold almost 9 million copies, right? And I kept on giving away my booklets, which cost me about, I ended up giving away 3 million, almost 3 million booklets. And then
3 million
yeah,
booklets you gave away for free.
yeah, and then it cost me about $3 million, right? It's about $1 a copy. So for the past 20 years, and now it's a digital copy. But I wanted to believe in I believed in giving something solid, not just digital thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, but look at the book royalty only. Like I got about I sold 9 million copies. That means I got about $13 million in book royalty. So uh, I gave away 3 million. I got 13 million. Do the math. I got 10 million more.
Yeah,
I
that's the
like that
friends.
math.
Those are the friends you're talking about, right? That's that's what I'm talking about.
Right. And
Right.
also metaphysically, uh, a lot of people see my aura and a lot of people see my happy auras. People cannot see auras, but still people feel the vibe because I've helped so many people. They thank me every day. They thank my health. They thank my family's well-being. So a lot of people pray for me. So I have this a lot of happy energy around me, and even though I just don't say a word, people notice it. So I get a lot of free stuff. I get a free ride, for a cab, and I get a free lunch. I get a free dinner. It's not I am famous, but people like me.
Mm,
So it's the
yeah,
energy that you give away will come back. So that's my explanation of metaphysical. Whatever you give away, it's recorded in your aura.
right. So, Karen, very similar to what we've always talked about, like people always give us
Yeah,
stuff.
they do. We like
Mhm.
they buy us food. It's like random strangers. It's
Right.
Yeah.
the strangest thing. It's
Yes.
it's wonderful,
But
but for
that's
no
that's
reason.
your
But
that's
now
your
we got to
daily
figure out
life.
that 10 million thing.
That's your
I'm
daily
sorry?
life, right? That
Oh
people
yeah,
give.
on a regular basis. Absolutely.
Yes. So
Absolutely.
you're living in the flow. That's why people are just
Mm.
joining the flow.
Yeah.
And they don't
Well,
probably know why they're doing it.
so I'm not sure if we're living in the flow or like you
Mhm.
said, we are very happy people. We
Mhm.
love being around people. We love doing what we're doing here. We love meeting new people like you can. So I think people respond to that happiness.
Yes.
Mhm.
But I'm not sure if there's an like, I don't know if we are like, we're getting the money, but I'm not sure if we're getting the money and their friends, right? We're just getting the money. We're just barely
Right.
getting by.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true. The
That
friends
is
are not coming.
yeah, that is my spiritual money, the essence of spiritual money teachings that people love in Japan. I have only taught happy money in English, and I'm going to write a few more books on spirituality. But I can just share with you now that whatever you give out, uh, the same frequency as money energy, you get the money energy back. So in other
Mhm.
words, it's not just if you give love, give appreciation, you get that, same thing. So if you give money energy, you get the money energy back. That means you have to physically and also spiritually give in terms of profit. So whatever you do, help people make money or save money or just make them feel so good about themselves, that will be translated into money. Like
Mm.
the reason why people kept buy my books over the past 20 years is that they feel good. They learn something out of my books. If they don't like my book, they stop buying, right?
Mhm.
So
Sure.
as long as you keep giving the real thing, people respond.
So you have to have the right intent behind the giving too. But, like,
Yes.
giving without expecting something back, giving just for the joy of giving?
Yes. And at the same time, not only giving you a smile, you have to be practical. You
Right.
have to give something like that, like tips or like some formula.
Mhm.
People feel like, wow, Ken, because of your teaching, I made $1 million. Can I just wire you some money? So my
Mm.
accountant has always a hard time just figuring out untold money being wired to our account. And we don't know who wired the money, like say 10,000 here, 5,000 here. We don't know who sent it. And they're
What?
not on our list. So
Mm. I
it'll
I
make
think that was me. Can I have it back?
I wanna be on their list.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I
that's
usually
wonderful.
just give that away, to charity. So like the happy money circulates. So if you are
Mhm.
abundant and if you have more than enough, if you make more than enough, my family is three, and it doesn't cost us so much money. So we can feed 20 families more. So that's what I'm doing. I'm helping a lot of people, both spiritually, physically, and financially. And
Mm.
that will also come back to me as a form of money, form of appreciation, form of something else. And like some people
Mhm.
call it luck, some people call it virtue, some people call it, happy energy. So if you
Mhm.
are giving away massive energy that you have, you receive so much, and it's not
Mm.
so difficult. So I just hope you get this idea and then, okay, maybe I'll give it a try and start giving something small and then just make it a little bigger.
Right.
So how do you help people get past that fear of not having enough?
Hmm.
Because so many people in our country are living paycheck to paycheck, and while it seems wonderful and they want to be able to be generous and give, the really big tips or the extra money. They just are concerned to be able to make the bills next week. Like, how do you get over
Yes.
that fear?
Before talking about the fear, when I do free pro bono counseling for financially challenged people, I realize that they spend their money on something that they don't even use. They often go to a dollar shop and then they buy stupid things, and then to get rid of stress, and they say like, "Oh, it's a reward for me," but reward for what? You're not even using it. So,
Mhm.
mantra I give these people is that if I don't buy this today, am I going to die tomorrow? I repeat, if I don't buy this today, am I going to die tomorrow? Most of the case, you don't. You're not going to die.
Right.
You don't need extra pair of shoes. You don't need extra pair of something. So you're
Mhm.
spending too much. So money problem only two. You're making too little, and also you're spending too much. So you have to
Mhm.
make more money. You have to spend less. But financially challenged people end up being where they are because they're making little money. They're spending too much. And then they're overwhelmed by fear. So they want to spend money, and then they feel they can get rid of this fear. So
Right.
before we tackle the fear, you have to really look at the math. And then, of course, you have to struggle with the fear, but one by one. And talking about financial fear, not only financially struggling people, but financially independent people have the same fear,
Mhm.
that their cost of everything goes so high. One of my acquaintances were complaining about the high prices of private jet fuel. And if you're complaining about that, get rid of it, right?
Wow.
Right.
I
The rest
wish
of
I
us,
was complaining about that.
yeah, the rest of us have to pay tons of money to not for jet fuel, but for a seat on the
Yeah,
Right.
jet.
right. But I mean, people complaining about certain things, So
Mhm.
Mhm.
if you just have a wrong mental attitude, you end up being poor. So you have to really face it. It's not the government is taking away your money. It's not, wealthy people are ripping you off. It's just you who are just, spraying your money and then not smart
Right.
and not a
Mhm.
good investment strategies, not good spending habits, and then no career planning whatsoever. That's why you end up being in a hole.
Right.
So you have to save yourself by just facing your own financial well-being, and also at the same time, financial IQ and financial EQ.
Emotional quotient. Right. Okay. So now I got to bring it back to the spiritual side of things
Sure.
because we hear a lot of people talking about um, the was it law of reciprocity or whatever it is, whatever you give out comes back to you, which is something you said earlier today too in this
Right.
interview. Uh, there are people out there that believe that just by giving money away,
Hmm.
you'll be getting it back without having to make any changes in the way that you go because you form an abundant mindset.
Hmm.
And the abundant mindset is what attracts the money to you, right? The law of attraction. Is that like I know you in your book you talk about the fact that money is actually energy, right? It's an
Hmm.
exchange of energy. And I've heard Deepak Chopra talk about it that way and things like that. Is that what we're talking about here when we're talking about happy money and unhappy money? Is an exchange of energy and the way that you exchange it, and the more free you are with it, the more free it is to come back to you?
Yes. So once again, this happy money and unhappy money analogy. If you just go to Las Vegas and just gamble, gamble away your money with a slot machine, and buy,
But if
so
you're happy
yeah,
doing it,
yeah, and that's like you're just giving away, you're losing the money, but you're not doing anything, right? But for example, my friend who decided to take uh, um, strangers, 1,000 strangers for lunch, for just a little experiment. So he started this campaign like, whoever wants to have lunch with me, I'll just buy you lunch. So like five people, 10 people at one time, and then he's done like 200 lunches, right? And then after
wow,
about a year and a half, he just celebrated his 10th 1,000 stranger lunch. And then after that, he started his career as a speaker. And look what happened. Out of all the 1,000 people, like a few hundred people showed up for his lecture. And then it became the strong core. And then his career took off. So that is what I'm talking about. It's not like buying expensive bags and spending your money for nothing. If you just do that, just the money will disappear. So you have to make sure, once again, money will come back with their friends. Otherwise, they're gonna die on the on the street.
Okay. So that makes sense. It's the money in the interest of helping others, in
Yes,
the interest of doing good,
yes,
that's what, uh, calls their friends to you,
The
yes,
the good, happy
intention.
money. Right. The intention. Yeah. Okay. That
yes,
makes a lot of sense. I love
yes.
that.
Mhm.
Okay, we need to take a quick break. But when we come back, we're going to dive a little deeper into this concept. And we're going to talk about something that you mentioned at the very beginning, right before we started recording, about the fact that there's a dark side to the
Ooh.
spiritual energies behind money. We'll kind of dive into both dark and the light of it when we come back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to the Skeptic Metaphysicians. We are talking to the one and only Ken Honda. We're excited because we're talking about happy money and how we can attract it to our lives. And it's really just as simple as being happy in what we're doing with the money, right, Ken? That's just that. Karen, what?
I just remembered something that I had
Yes.
totally forgotten about that is just like this. So about 5 years, maybe 6 years ago, I was with our daughter at the store, and we were in the checkout line, and this guy in front of us dropped some coins. So she picked him up, and she was, I don't know, 6, and she handed him she's like, "Here, you dropped your coins." And he said, "Oh, thank you." And he put them in his pocket. So we go out to the car, and I hear this, "Excuse me." And it was kind of late at night, and it was just the two of us. And, that makes you a little nervous. And this guy, it's the same guy, and he's walking towards me. And I'm like, "Oh boy." He's like, I wanted to give you something to your daughter. And he has a bill in his hand. And I'm like, "Oh, it's not necessary." He's like, "No, she, picked these coins from me." I'm like, "Really? It's not necessary." So he's like, "Please, please." And it was really important for him for some reason to give us this bill. So he hands it to me and he just walks away. And I look and it was a $50 bill. So that's like an instant example of
Mhm.
what Ken you're talking about. She gave him back the 25 cents and she got $50 in return.
And I think it's a fun, great lesson for her. She's
Yeah.
trying to be honest, nice, generous, always pay back, right?
Mhm.
That's a
Mhm.
cool story.
Mm,
Thank you.
yeah. Okay. Something that came to mind, I've got to ask you. Sometimes in this, you hear about marriages suffering a
Hmm.
lot. I think it's like number one cause of divorce is
Hmm.
money because they
Yes.
can't agree on it. They don't know how to. One person feels, do you want to give happy money? The other person feels, nope, nope. We got to save the money because we got to have a savings. Um, how can what kind of advice could you give to someone who's in the relationship that are at odds with each other on how to run with money?
Yeah. Before I answer that question, I want to explain about money personality types.
Mm,
I realized that through money counseling, especially couples, I realized that there are certain money personality types. They are the spender, gambler, money maker, money warrior. Those type of people. Saver too. So they want to. So let's say when they see $100 bill on the street, the gambler will just pick up the money and then they gamble, and then saver would just put it in a bank account. Spender go to the nearest shopping mall. So like when we have money, we have certain like habits of doing things. So fortunately, unfortunately, the opposite side of money personality types, they are attracted and then they end up getting married. So the same reason that they are attracted to each other would be the same reason for divorce. Because for the moneymaker type, this money spender person looks so attractive. She knows all the good restaurants. She looks pretty because she spends all the money. And then for her, this guy looks so attractive because she can keep on spending the money if she marries this person, right? But after 4 years, This guy think if I just keep marrying this woman, I'll go broke in 3 years. And this woman thinks that this guy is so boring. I thank him for his money, but I think I just married the most boring business person I've ever met. So unless you understand this money personality types, you cannot appreciate the other side. So like a money maker, money spender type people want to donate money. They want to save. You want to spend money for other people. Saver type, on the other hand, they want to save for the future. So their code is totally different. So unless you understand and unless you have certain agreement of how to spend the money, it's almost like a country, budgeting. So if you don't agree, you're going to go separate ways. So that is almost treat each other like you're a congressman or like statesman in the diet, and that's
That's
why
that's a little difficult to do right now
I
these days
know
here in America anyway.
that's because we are polarized. The spender thinks like fear of missing out. We got to do a party. We got to go to a vacation. There are lots of spenders out here in Hawaii. They may not have savings, but yeah, right. Let's do it, right? So the saver, more conservative side said, no, 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 no. We did it. Like we went here. Last year we went to Bahama and Hawaii too much, right? So both are right. So you have to really respect each other, and then you have to come up with the right decision. Otherwise, your finance will be out of control, or you have enough money in the bank account but no fun. Either way, life is not so functioning. So you have to really
Mhm.
be realistic about your budget and also about how you want to have fun too.
Mm. So really you have to work out who's right, and of course, the spender is right. Right, Ken? Right. That because then you're spending the money and it's coming back. Right, Karen? The spender is
Not
right.
just on fancy bags.
Right, exactly. So, like now, you
Right.
can agree on certain things. It's like Congress, right? Okay, we can pass this
Mm,
bill, but this one. So a lot of
Mm,
discussion, a lot of respect is needed.
mhm.
So I think this
okay.
Yeah.
this whole thing is very interesting because it's happening everywhere. And so when I do money
Yeah.
counseling, I go back to three generations. I ask them about their parents, how they deal with money, and also grandparents, because your parents are brought up by your grandparents, right? So if
Mhm.
you look at the pain and the glory of the three generation, you see a lot of hope, a lot of glories, and also a lot of dark side of money. Like wealthy people's son, or kids or grandkids, they end up in a very funny accident or just funny, like ransom case, because the money that their grandparents made have this bad karma. So it's coming back to their grandkids' generation. I've seen it all the time, and I'm sure you've seen it in
Ooh.
North America as well.
Yeah, so now you're getting into the stuff that we talked
Ooh.
about right before we break, right? The energies behind the money, because it is like we said, it's an energy, it's a
Mhm.
flow,
Mhm.
and sometimes the energy it flows uh, a lot further, a lot deeper than we know. So, talk to us about the different sides, the good and bad, the light and dark sides of
Mhm.
energy flow.
So light side, I don't have to mention it because you've seen it all, right? The charity. When you
Mhm.
attend one of those, like you feel so hopeful, so fun. And the dark side, the simple one is lottery money. You've heard that lottery winners end up being just losing everything,
Yeah, that's
right?
crazy.
And I think my theory is that when everybody said millions of people buy a lottery, what would they
Mhm.
buy out of? They're out of greed, despair, and hope. So all the bad energy, lots of greed, are put into this account. So when you get like say $3 million, it's a $3 million worth of grudges, frustration, resentment, and all the bad stuff is comes with money.
So
So
all the other people's bad stuff too?
yes, because when they buy,
Oh.
say, they spent $10 or $20 for a lottery ticket, they they want to win it, right? So this
Mhm.
bad energy is put onto this money. So the accumulation or the bad energy gets deducted to your account. That's why you're
Oh.
afraid, right?
Wow, I
Oh.
knew there was a reason I didn't buy lottery tickets, and you thought I was cheap, Will.
Ah, I knew there was a reason I never won them. I just wasn't playing enough. But well, okay. So then, if there are times when you might get a windfall, a relative passes away and they leave a lot of money to you.
Mhm.
Uh, Here's where I think I'm understanding you. Where
Mhm.
if that money, let's say my grandfather passes away and he bequeaths all his fortune to me, but
Mhm.
his fortune was made from drug smuggling or something like
Right.
that, then that money then in your estimation would be, unhappy money, right? It would have bad energy
When you receive it. But
when I
there's
receive.
something called, I call it happy money laundry. That means, you know,
Wait,
you
wait, we don't wanna do anything illegal here, Ken.
no, it's perfectly legal because you do
Okay.
it in your
Alright.
imagination. You know, just you receive the money energy and getting cleansed by the heavens energy or whatever you believe in. Cleanse it in a way that the same money energy, will be transformed to help other people. So because
Mm.
money is energy by itself. So if that money will be spent on something for to help a lot of people, that money becomes dirty money, becomes instantly happy money. So
Now, if you're I was gonna
please,
say, if you're doing that, can you keep some of the money and then use some of the money to help people, and will that cleanse the money that you keep, or do you have to use all of it?
I think you can include you to the people who you're helping, because that
Oh, I
money
like that.
is left for you. So you should use it for your happiness as well. So just not only your happiness, but others. But if you think
Mhm,
about commonwealth, it's like all the assets that we share together, and then you get to share
mhm.
part of it because your grandfather left with love. So if you can feel the love, you can spend it. And at the same time, it's not just only for you. But if your attitude is like that, I think money gets cleansed, and then your bad money will be turned into a happy money. So you feel safe, you feel happy, and otherwise, think about it. If you get all the money or the lottery, a lot of friends become just monsters. I read an
Mm.
Mm.
article that there's this a Japanese guy who just won the lottery, and he didn't say how much. So he was just celebrated by his colleagues and coworkers. And so he said he was taking out everybody to a nice expensive restaurant, right? And then probably like a $200 worth of real nice dinner. And then everybody was so happy. But a few weeks later, they found out how much he won, something like 10 million US dollars. And then he got a lot of upset friends and colleagues. The
Because
funny,
they didn't spend enough.
yeah,
Ah,
like $400 for me. You won $10 million. And his friend, he's not even his friend says, I have a mortgage in my house. I have a older elder parent in my countryside. Can you help? So he got surrounded by all the zombies who want a piece of his money. So
mhm.
the
Mm.
only few percent of the people who won the lottery and stay the same are those who were already wealthy. Because if he wins another $3 million, top of $200 million, he doesn't care and it doesn't really change his life. So like, wow, lucky me! I should give it to everybody, right? And then if his attitude is like that, that money doesn't affect his life at all.
Hmm. Uh, that's a conundrum because, we've all been there, right? Where someone's really wealthy
Hmm.
and, they get you a Christmas present that's like, a postage stamp, and you're like, "God, they got millions of dollars and all they could afford to give me for Christmas is a postage stamp?
Yeah.
What's wrong with it?" So, I would assume that the energy, that bad energy goes to me then, not to the millionaire. because a millionaire is actually giving something they didn't have to give anything, right? I was indignant because I was a postage stamp. So you have to think of it that way, right? Because it's in the receiving end too.
Yes. So if you just get used to that, you're fine. But a lot of if you become wealthy and famous, a lot of people expect you to do something, and
Mhm.
if you turn it down, like a donation request, suddenly you become a bad person. So
Mm,
you have to be very careful. Money brings in funny jealousy and expectations and resentment and all that. You need to understand happy money and also unhappy money, both sides. Otherwise, you cannot stay happy, wealthy at the same time.
right. So basically, what I'm hearing you say, the
Mhm.
lesson is just don't make any money. It's just easier. That way, no one
That,
hates you.
yeah,
Just live in a tent.
that's what we're doing. 95% of us are just taking that route. So we
Right.
don't be attacked. We can make both ends meet and then we are happy ever after. So if you
Absolutely.
want to go for happy money and then if you become happy and happy millionaire, you can help other people and that brings you so
Mhm.
much joy. So,
Right.
of course it's up to you. You can stay humble and then make both ends meet, and that's also another beautiful life. So
Right.
if you're destined to become wealthy, I recommend you go for it. I think everyone is born with a certain money container size, and that can grow, that can shrink, but it's almost like our destiny. We are born with a certain gifts at the same time. So
Mm,
unless we take advantage of our gifts and use it for other people, we feel miserable. So you have to really watch out what we are born with.
How can you know what size your container is?
Yeah, for example, if you just triple your expenses, and then if you feel, that's the size of your container. So,
right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
That's a little thimble.
yeah. Like one time, I had a chat with a guy who has $1 billion company, right? So
Mhm.
that means that he has to make $100 million in sales every month. That means like
Oof.
$3 million every day, and that means like tens of thousands of dollars every hour. And if you just miss one hour, you go bankrupt, right? I just couldn't think of the stress. So
Wow.
my container size is not a billionaire, and I'm okay. So uh, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, they have a lot of stress. But
Mhm.
if you are born with a certain money container, go ahead because you are destined to be that way.
Right. Right. Um, yeah, I'm still learning. I'm still figuring out what my money container size is, but
Mhm.
well, God, there's so many different directions I want to head in, but I know that we're short on time. We talked about the spenders and
Mhm.
how the spending of the money in a good way to help others will automatically bring it back to you
Mhm.
in and their friends, which is a
Yeah.
really great way to look at it. Now, what about the savers on the other side of the coin?
Mhm.
Like, is it bad to save? Like, should you not save for because if you don't save, then something might happen in the future. You might have to go for a surgery or, you
When you
might
get old and you can't work?
yeah, right. So, is it bad to save, or is there a way to save and still be happy?
Yeah, so I'm not against saving, to make my point. But what I'm saying is that don't save too much because your bank account may not be the answer. I always talk about this in my seminar. Instead of having $1 million in a bank account, you should have 50 friends who will just take good care of you. Because if you lose everything, you can go to your friend number one and just ask him to let you stay for 1 week. The second week, second friend. There are only 50 weeks in a year. Well, what's about a
And
year?
then you go back around.
Yeah, well, it's financially free. So instead of just saving millions of dollars, become close to a lot of fun people. So the reason why I'm not afraid of money is that I have many great friends. Many of them are wealthy. So they'll make sure that if I lose everything, I'll just knock on the door. Hi, it's Ken. sorry, I lost everything. Can I stay with you for a while? And they will love to have me. Like, okay, Ken, come on in. Well,
Uh,
having friends is more important than having money in
Yeah.
the bank account.
mm. Ken,
Yes.
can I be your friend?
Yes. Now I'm on your list. Yeah. And
Yes.
and also the other thing I recommend is like if you're getting older than 40 or 50, hang around with younger friends. And then I always tease, young people. I just treat them a lot for dinner and lunch. I give free seminars for young people, and I always tell them in advance that the reason why I'm giving you free lunch and free dinner and the free seminar is you are my pension plan. If something goes wrong, you guys are responsible for. I'm not saying everybody, but one of you depend on
Or
me.
just a little bit from everybody. You can all
Yeah,
chip in.
yeah. One of you becomes successful, and you're responsible for taking care of me. So a lot of my
Oh.
students, young students, are saying, "Hi, Ken. This is your patient number 32." They just send me emails like that. So just when you just encourage young people and just become their mentors, they feel so
Mhm.
indebted to you. So they will be nicer than your kids because your kids may
Mhm,
want more from you, but those young people, young friends, they genuinely love you. So you
mhm,
should hang around with the younger people who love you, adore you, and who just take care of your health when when you have a hard time walking. They help you with groceries and all that. So I already have 20 of them, so I'm all set.
We feel like 5. We
We
can we
do.
can build that number up.
Yeah, yeah. So Ken, not sorry, Ken said I need to be your friend because you're 20 years younger than me, so that's
So
how it
I'm your
works.
pension plan then.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Remember
So
that. This is recorded for eternity.
yeah, so
Uh,
instead of just saving money, it's more fun. So don't save too much for
Mhm.
some rainy season because uh, like worrying about future just it's not happy for you. So you should
mm,
just enjoy life while you're alive.
right. That's you bring up a good point. Yes, it's important to be happy and live your life. But what about those that are really struggling, that are really having a hard time? You mentioned
Uh-huh.
maybe aren't getting paid enough, but they have a family to feed, and
Yes.
they can't seem to get ahead. How do they put this into effect?
So it might take a few years, but you have to start from somewhere. You- Uh,
Mhm.
as I said, you have two problems. You're making too little money, you're spending too much. So you have to sort of like stop the bleeding in a sense, and then you have to spend less money. And also, you don't have you or your kids don't have to have the newest iPhones and other things. You can wait. And also,
Mhm.
you have to struggle this as a family, as a team, and then you come up with 20 different ideas to get a raise or to get paid more. By doing that, you get a better job. One of my students who was a single mom started appreciating her boss, and because she's never got any uh, raise or bonus for a few years. But after learning about this arigato your money technique, thank you money when it comes in and
Mhm.
goes out, she started appreciating her boss. And she realized that even though she didn't have a college degree, she was hired. So she started appreciating her boss. And in a few weeks, he started to say thank you, which was
Wow.
like, wow, this guy knew how to say thank you. And also, he gave her a big raise and big bonus. So if you start this mental shift in you, and then you probably find a better job and that treats you better. So you have to find what you're good at, and then you have to find the right place for you.
Mhm.
Mm. And then it sounds like it all starts with where we talk about it all the time, right? The attitude of gratitude,
Yes,
Mhm.
the
yes,
thanking for what you actually do have, focusing on what you do have versus what you don't have. And the act of focusing that energy into what you do have and being grateful for that will actually attract a more abundant energies around you, which then will help lift you out eventually of your struggle.
Yes, it will indeed. If you're complaining mode, you're connected to the bad future, because if you're complaining, they will not treat you well. But if you
Hmm.
start appreciating, you'll be connected back to a happy world where everybody appreciates one another. So appreciation shifts you to that world. And then once you're connected to a beautiful world, it might take a few years, but it's worth it. Year after year, your life will be better. Your people
Hmm.
around you will pay more respect to you, and you pay more respect to you and your kids and your family members. And then within 5 years, your life will be improved so much. So you
Right.
will be probably out of a low paying job. You may start selling. You might start speaking. You might start cooking. I don't know what you're good at, but do what you're good at more. That will bring in
Right.
more happiness and money. And then eventually, you do so well by doing what you love. And by then, I think you don't have to worry about money anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned from your book is that you can be very happy and comfortable without money. It's all about what you how you feel with what you have. And that's a wonderful place to be.
Yes, exactly. And you are the both of you are such a beautiful example. That's why people love you. Your shows are so popular, because they love your energy.
Ah, well,
Thank you.
thank you for that. Yeah, we actually have fun. We do think a lot. We are very grateful for
We are.
everything,
Hmm.
and I think because we don't have a huge amount of money, but we're happy and we're very grateful for what we do have, and we
Hmm.
constantly say it. So
Yep.
it goes right along with what you're saying. So thank you for that.
Yes. And also I'm here. So I'm gonna send in a lot of happy energy, happy money energy to you.
Thank you. I
Thank
gladly
you.
and happily accept.
Because happy people should get wealthy
Huh.
because they can do so many great things. So you
Yeah, I
should be
think the
wealthy.
happy people would do more with it.
Yes, you should be more wealthy. You can grow your money container, receive more, give more.
Hmm.
You can become the example of happy money people.
Mm, okay. So to
All
some
right.
yep, from your mouth to God's ears, absolutely. But so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start giving more to help more people
Hmm.
so that because at the end of the day, that's really what we want. The whole
Yeah.
reason for the show is to help people. We're not
Hmm.
helping people with money, we're helping people with messages and things like that. But maybe it's time to start helping some people with money,
Yeah.
Karen. Yeah, cool.
Yes,
Absolutely.
congratulations.
Absolutely.
Congratulations in advance.
Thank you. Thank you in advance. Really appreciate it. Ken, this has been wonderful. You are wonder you have
Gosh.
this energy. You have this wonderfully happy, wonderful energy that is so infectious. Thank you for
It
coming on our show.
absolutely
Thank
is.
you. So
Absolutely.
you can invite me back anytime. I will arrange my schedule because this is my joy. I don't need to get paid. I know as long as my schedule is okay. I try to have it a few times a week. This is like such a fun hobby and also a great joy for me. So thank you for
Oh,
Oh,
that.
wonderful. We
well,
would love to have you back. Yes.
absolutely. You can count on it. We'll definitely reach out to you. So,
Thank you.
Ken, if someone wanted to learn more, whether to get your books or to learn more about this happy money mentality, what's the best place for someone to reach out to you?
So you can Google Ken Honda. KenHonda.com is my website. So you see a lot of free information, to figure out your money personality type too. And I started
Oh.
teaching more in English now, and I do some events in North America. My second book is coming out in May from Hay House. It's called True Wealth. It's a novel.
Oh.
Oh,
So in a few months, I'll be touring around the US and talk more about happy money and true wealth.
well, Ken, please let's stay in touch because we'd love to have you back on the show to talk about your book once
Hmm.
once
Thank
it's
you.
out. And then, if you happen to be around where we are, we'd love to go out and do this in person. How
That would be
amazing would that be?
wonderful.
Yeah.
That would be fun, and I don't mind like doing for like 4 people, 10 people. I talk to thousands of people. Sometimes I talk to 10 people. The numbers don't count. It's just the heart. So like whoever you're friends with, I'd be happy to join.
Wow.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That is a
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful offer. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I
Ken,
pay
this
my
has been-
airfare and everything, so don't worry about that.
Oh. Yeah, we'll have
Right.
to. We'll be in
Okay.
touch.
So see you soon.
All right. Yes, thank you so much. We'll see you very soon.
All right.
And a huge thank you to you. If you know someone who would benefit from hearing the message we're sharing on the show, do them and us a favor and share the show with them. It will help get the word out about us, and it might just change someone's life for the better. Well, that's all for now, but we'll see you on the next episode of The Skeptic Metaphysician. Until then, take care.